Hey, how you doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I just want to talk about some of my old blades. I've had these since like the late 90s, early 2000s. And just want to go over them. I'm going to do a series of videos, do about 3 videos on my fixed blade cold steel knives, which most of them are Tontos, by the way. A couple of them are some other things, but most of them are Tontos. And let's get started. I'm going to start off over here with my old OSS. I think I got this one like in 2003 or 4, something like that. Had it for a long time. It's not the Oz 8 one. This is a 420 hard carbon steel one. This is one of the earlier versions that they made after the Carbon V versions. Can't remember how long the blade is. It's almost 9 inches long. It's like 8 and something inches long. They call this a sub hilt. It's dual edged. It's like a clip blade. It's like a Arkansas toothpick clip blade or a pig sticker with a double edge. It's not quite what I would call a classic dagger style. It's more like a double-edged Bowie type style. Very light. The blade thickness on it, I'm not exactly sure. Can't remember what it was, but I would say it's probably either, looks like it might be about 5 millimeters. Very lightweight. Came with the Securex sheath. This is the old style sheath, didn't say Securex on it. Fits in there tight. Won't come out. Push on it with your thumb, pull it out. Really don't need this strap, because it so securely fits in there. It's absolutely beautiful though. They made a fancier version of this one too. I can't remember what it was called. I want to say the Big Bear or something, the Bear something. I can't remember what it was. Reason why I got it, because I just thought it looked cool back in the day. This is around the time when I first started getting into cold steel knives. Next one up will be this is a Peacekeeper 2. Well, this is made in Taiwan. This was made in Taiwan. This is a Taiwanese one also. This has about 5.5 inch blade. Still has a thick stock. This one is Oz 8, if I remember right. I think it's Oz 8. It's a Peacekeeper 2. They also had a Peacekeeper 1, which was a longer version. If I'm not mistaken, I think it had like a 7 inch blade. This is considered a boot knife. Didn't come with the other strap because it's meant to be held in your boot as a boot clip. I think these are removable too. I never removed it, but it's not part of the Kydex sheath. It's like a separate part. And this one says Securex on it. And when I bought this one, I bought it to be a boot knife when I ride my motorcycle, go on rides and stuff, long rides. I can carry it in the boot inside my pants leg. But I didn't know daggers were illegal in California when I bought this. After I found out these were illegal in California, I didn't sell it or anything, I just kept it. But I just stopped carrying it. Absolutely love it though. Cold Steel daggers are super strong. They're not like most daggers where, you know, they're kind of weak or whatever. These are super sturdy. These are all full tank construction knives, and they have the Crayex handles that encapsulate the knife tang. Peacekeeper 2. Let me see if you could, I don't know if you can read that. Read the markings on it. When I started getting into cold steels, it was about the end of when they were making them in Japan, and they had started making them in Taiwan. It was like the early 2000s. This one here is another boot knife. These were purchased after the Dagger, when I found out the Dagger was illegal. This one's a plain edge. And this one's made in Taiwan also. The blade stock on this one's a little bit thinner. I'm not exactly sure how thick it is, but I want to say like 3.5 millimeter maybe. In between 3.5, maybe 4 millimeters, somewhere around there. It's a Tonto. I love the Cold Steel Americanized Tontos. It's one of my favorite fixed blades that Cold Steel makes. These aren't hunting knives, these were for self-defense. Has a hollow grind. And this one's Oz 8 also, if I remember right. I think it's Oz 8. This is called a Kobun. And Oya Buns, like the big boss, and the Kobun meant the soldier. Soldiers were the smaller ones, and the Oya Buns were the bigger ones. Came with the Securex sheath. This next one, this is a Japanese made one, and it's fully serrated. The finish on it's a little bit nicer than the Taiwanese ones, where it had like it has a brushed stainless steel finish, where the Taiwanese ones, I think they were coated with something, like some sort of coating or whatever, non-glare coating. This one was carried also back in the day. I don't know if you can read the labeling on it. Made in Japan. Kobun. Same thickness, like a 3.5 millimeter. I want to say it's probably 3.5 millimeter. The sheath is a little bit different. But these are old ones from the early 2000s, late 1990s. This is an Oya Bun. It's a 7.5 inch Oya Bun. And this one was made in Japan. It has a leather sheath, like the Japanese knives had. This one was never carried or used. My Oya Buns or my big Tontos, I never carried them. They're my, just in case the shit hits the fan knives. Zombie apocalypse, somebody tries to take over our country, or whatever. That's what these knives were meant for. Now, besides, I just like big knives. I like big, scary looking knives. This is a Japanese one, Japanese Oya Bun. It has a hollow grind. I can't remember what steel this one is. I want to say it's probably Oz 8. I'm not sure. I won't swear to it. I'm not exactly sure what steel it is. It has a thicker blade stock. It's either 4 or 5 millimeters, something like that. Thicker than the Kobuns. Very sturdy, very strong knife. There's a leather sheath. I don't really care for these leather sheaths. I like the Kydex sheaths better. The Securex sheaths. I like those better. And this one, this is my bed knife. This is the one that stays beside my bed all the time. And this is a 9-inch Oya Bun. It's an older one. I want to say this one's 420. Might be 420 still. I'm not sure. But it's real heavy. It's got the thick blade stock. And it's been used. The edge has been resharpened several times. And the blade has been completely polished out. But it is a big Cold Steel Oya Bun. You just can't see the markings on it no more because they've been polished out. And this is a knife that stays by my bed all the time. I think you've seen it before in other videos. I've used it to open up boxes and stuff. And it has a Securex sheath. It doesn't say Securex on it. That's the way the old ones were. They didn't say. The new ones are the ones that say Securex. All the old ones, they didn't say that. But they haven't made these. They haven't made the big Oya Buns in a long time. The 7.5-inch blade and the 9-inch blade. Haven't made them in a long, long time. The only way you can get these sizes now is if you get a Sanmei or a 3V, and they're not even. I'm not even sure if they're still making those anymore. But you can still get them though. They're still available. The next collection I'll show you will be my Sanmei collection. And I have a 3V collection too. But these were the first ones I bought. Were these. The ones made in 420 stainless steel, 420 HC to stainless steel, and the Oz 8. Oz 8 used to be a premium steel. So did 420 back in its time too. 420 when it first came out. I can't remember if it was like the 60s. I want to say like the 60s was when I first started seeing like in buck knives. It was considered a premium stainless steel. And then in the 80s, was the 80s or early 90s, somewhere around there, Oz 8 was out and it was considered a premium steel too. They weren't always considered budget steels. The first Sanmei blades that Cold Steel made, they used Oz 8 for the hardcore of the blade, and they used 420J2 steel for the outer portions, for the softer steel. Then they went to VG1. And they still use the 420J2 for the outer portions. And now the newest ones have VG10. The ones I have are VG10 ones. The ones made in Taiwan. The VG1 ones were all made in Japan. Same thing with the Oz 8 ones. They were made in Japan also. The Oz 8 ones I think were the ones from the 1980s. And the VG ones I want to say were from the 1990s. And after that they came out with the VG10, and that's when they went to Taiwan. Still Japanese steel though. It was just the knives were assembled in Taiwan instead of Japan. In Seiki, Japan, Hirota. Hatatori or something like that. I forget the name. The Japanese name. The factory where they were made. Absolutely love these Cold Steels. These are, to me, are the best fixed blade fighters. I have some Bowies and stuff like that too, American made Bowies, and I even have a Bill Bagwell Bowie. And I like these best. If I'm gonna carry a fighting knife, I would go to one of these first. Not these in particular. I pick one of my newer ones, either a Sam May or a 3V one. But these were the first ones that I had though. These were before I was willing to spend a lot of money on a Sam May blade or a 3V blade. Because all these, when they first came out, they were all pretty much like the budget knives. Because they had Sam May versions also, but they were real expensive. And these, you were able to get all of these like under $100 each. I think these were like under $50. All the smaller ones, these right here, they're all like under $50. This one, I think I paid maybe $60 or $70 for it. This one, I think it was between 70 and 100, and same thing with this one. Might have been 100. But these were like budget blades. Budget fixed blades from Cold Steel. Budget fighters. And actually these are really nice because these carry really nicely because they're lighter in weight. Well, that's all I got to show you about these. I told you I was going to start showing you some of my older fixed blades. I have my fixed blade collection. Next up, I'll show you my. I think I'll do Sam. I'm debating if I want to do Sam Mays next, or I should probably do them in order. Doing Sam Mays next because the Sam Mays were the ones I got after this one, these or whatever. And then and the newest ones I got are the 3Vs. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I just watched my the last episode of one of my favorite TV series I've been watching for the last 14, 15 years or whatever. Supernatural. The Winchesters. If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you what happened. But if you're a Supernatural fan, if you're a Supernatural fan and you haven't seen the finale, you need to go see the finale. So I'm not going to tell you what happens in it. It was sad though. It was awesome. It was awesome. But I've been watching that show for a long time. And a lot of these big knives I got is because of that show. Because I like the way that they was fighting with them big ass knives they got. Excuse my French. Big blades that they have. But I wouldn't call these my zombie apocalypse knives. These are more just like fighters. These are knives I would carry if I felt like I was going in a dangerous area or something like that and I needed some backup besides just a gun. And back in the old days, my wild days, I used to go to some pretty wild places around some pretty wild people. So, anyway, that's enough of that. But anyway, peace out. Stiletto. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Peace.